Hi friends, now we are talking about the steering system chapter. In the previous video, we talked about the introduction of the steering system. Now this video I am going to explain about the rack and pinion steering system which was used in the majority of the cars in the earlier days. Before going to talk about the rack and pinion steering system, let us have a look on how many types of steering systems are available in the vehicles. This is the one rack and pinion what we discussed and what we are going to discuss in detail about this in this video. This is the pinion, the rack. This pinion is rotated through the shaft from the steering wheel, and the circular movement of this rotary movement of this pinion makes the linear movement of this rack, which is connected to the tie rod at both ends and makes the tie rods move in horizontal direction. This is how it works. This is the mechanism. All the components are rubber boots, tie rods, ball joints, and ball studs, etc. This is the wheel hub, and this is the steering linkage. The other type of the steering system is the worm and sector. This is the worm wheel connected to the steering shaft. As the wheel is rotated, steering wheel shaft rotates, and the worm also rotates, and the worm is meshed with a sector. For every one revolution of the worm, the sector moves about a teeth. Here, the mechanical advantage will be comparatively more than the rack and pinion system, because for every one revolution of the worm, sector moves only in one teeth, either this direction or in this direction, depending upon the rotation of the worm. When this sector is moved clockwise or anti-clockwise, the shaft also rotates, and the shaft is connected with a crank to this rod. This cranking arrangement or this arm arrangement makes this rod move forward and reverse, that is to and fro. The circular revolution here and here leads to the linear movement of this shaft, and from here the linkages are connected. This is the animation. Imagine this is the worm one, this is the wheel is the sector. Sector is nothing but a portion of the wheel, maybe 1/5 or 1/6 of the wheel. Look at the speed of the worm and look at the speed of the shaft. This is the mechanism. The linkages remains the same. The tie rods, track rod, these are the arms, tie rod ends, these are the wheels. Steering wheel, steering shaft, everything. The only this gear mechanism, the where the driver is getting the mechanical advantage or the gearing mechanism changes from model to model. The third type of the steering system is called the worm and roller. There it is a sector, moves like this. Here it is a roller. You can see the worm looks like this with a little bit tapered design, and this worm is rotating. This roller rotates. Roller is supported over a bearing here, bush or bearing, and this is moving like this over a pin. When it is moving, automatically shaft also moves. You can see this. See, this is moving like this. This is also a kind of circular movement and making this arm moving up and down. Okay. This is how the worm and roller works. And now it is the recirculating ball type. Okay. Again, there is a sector here. There are some steel balls inside the worm. There is a separate block is there. So the friction, the purpose of these balls are mainly to reduce the friction and give the movement. The worm is rotated, balls will move this particular block to and fro movement, that is like this, and this to and fro movement causes the circular movement of this segment or sector like this or like this. When it is moved, this arm is moved like this, up or down. This is how it moves, and again the linkage is common. Another type of the steering system which works purely with hydraulic force is called the orbital steering system. This is used mainly in the construction machines and mining machines. There will be exclusive pump will be there, reservoir will be there, this valve will be there, steering valve. We are going to talk in detail about this orbital steering system in an exclusive video in the part 4. This is the electronic power steering system. This is having a control unit, electronic control unit. This takes the inputs from various points. Example, vehicle speed sensor at what speed the vehicle is going, and the steering angle sensor, because the feeling to the driver hands comes only to this through this steering wheel. Then the torque sensor. So what is the load required here? This is processed here, this signals, and give the input to an electric motor which is connected to the reduction gear. The reduction gear may be again Woman sector, maybe rack and pinion, whatever may be. So it goes there. From here again the mechanical linkages etc will be there. This is about the various types of the steering systems available in majority of the vehicles. Now we will go exclusively on the rack and pinion mechanical steering system. This is the layout what we discussed in the previous video. The steering wheel, steering shaft. Over the shaft there is a steering column, a steel tube, and this is the complete housing for the rack and as well as for the pinion. Looks like this. Okay, this looks like this. The wheel is rotated, shaft is rotated, and pinion is rotated. In between pinion and shaft there is a universal joint. The purpose of universal joint, what we discussed in the earlier videos, is to transfer the power between the two mechanical components which are in different axes. This is in different axis, this is in different axis. So to transfer the power, a flexible coupling is required, which is called the universal joint. Then from universal joint, the pinion moves here. Then the rack moves, this tie rod moves either this direction or direction. When the pinion moves like this, clockwise viewing from this end, this pinion moves towards the left, pulling this rod and pushing this rod, which are connected both the wheels, making these wheels to move this direction, both the wheels. If the pinion rotates in the anti-clockwise direction, the racks moves like this, making the tie rods move in this direction and making the wheels to turn this direction. And there are so many other joints are there. This ball stud, this ball joints, the universal joint, there will be some bearings which we will see in the picture. This is how this component looks from here, this blue component. This blue highlight component looks like this. This is the pinion. Normally the pinion is helical gear. It will not be straight gear because to get the good contact area, people use the helical teeth both on the rack and as well as the pinion. This pinion is supported with the two bearings up and down, and there will be some oil seals, and there will be some adjustment screws and lock screws, and which is in a housing. So it will be rotating without moving this housing. And this rack is supported to a rack guide. So this rack is moving on this guide, and to adjust the clearance, there will be a spring always to support this one. Okay, and also there will be some adjusting screw will be there. So one end is one tie rod. This is the tie rod, and these are the ball joints. This is the tie rod clamp. These are the ball stud. This is how this complete blue mechanism looks like that. So we have seen earlier also how this rack and pinion works. This is We were just imagining this will be very straight and with a fixed length. In all the recent vehicles, we can see this is tiltable. We can see in any cars the tiltable steering because driver sitting comfort and hands comfort, they can adjust this steering wheel tilting towards the driver or away from the driver. We can also see some of the cars, even height, length of the shaft also can be adjustable. This is how it looks. Coming to the joints, universal joint, we discussed about this. This is mainly connected between the steering shaft and the pinion. You can see three places also this universal joint depending upon the linkage geometry. These are the tie rods. One end, this is called the ball joint. The purpose of ball joint to take the flexibility. If the tire is moving like this gives this kind of flexibility. If the vehicle is moving up and down because of road condition, that also takes care of the all directional movements this ball joint will take care. That's why the ball joint is provided here. Grease is always available here to lubricate this ball, and there will be a seal, grease seal, end seal will be there to prevent the leakage of the grease. This end we discussed about the ball studs. Here there will be a ball. This is the stud. This is called the ball stud. This stud is fitted to the steering arm at the wheel hub. When you cut the steel ball stud, it looks like this. This is the steel ball. This is the stud. This is the threaded portion. This is the complete housing, and whereas this is the plastic cup where this ball moves. This ball also lubricated with sealed grease. If you see further elaborately, these are the various components of the ball stud. There is a rubber cap to arrest the leakage. There is a nut. There is a stud. The ball. This is the polyethylene cup, which is strong enough to take the friction. And this end is with female thread. This is about the ball stud. This is the rubber boots provided here to prevent the inner components from the dust. So this avoids the entry of the dust from outside to inner rack because the rack and pinion are always engaged and lubricated with the grease. If dust goes inside, they will wear out very fast. Same with the ball joint also. So to protect these components from the dust, that's the one job. The other job is then why these bellows are provided. Depending on the steering requirement, left or right, both sides tie rods will be extending and contracting to take care of the difference of the lengths between the extension and contraction. These bellows of this rubber will be helpful. One has to take care of these rubber boots. If the rubber boots are punctured, immediately these have to be replaced. Otherwise, the water, mud, and dust entry will enter inside and damage the rack and pinion. This is how it looks. This is a tie rod, and this is a kind of steering mechanism, maybe an hydraulic power steering here, which we'll be discussing in the next video. These are the ball studs, these are the ends. Same other side also will be like this. And one question here, whenever we need the turning, we will turn the steering wheel, and through that these tires will be moved through this linkage, through this rack and pinion. But as long as the turning is over, the road becomes straight. When you release the effort on the steering wheel, it becomes automatically to the center. Means the tires becomes automatically to the straight line position. How it happens? How they automatically comes to the center line? That happens mainly because of the steering geometry. There is a arrangement called caster angle, which we'll be talking exclusively in the steering geometry video. Because of the caster angle, the tires becomes to straight automatically as soon as the load is released or the effort is released on the steering wheel. When it comes to steering wheels, this is how the simple steering wheel looks. You can see in the old ambassadors, Fiat cars and all. Then the transformation like this. See, this is how it is transformed. There is a horn button inside here, and the latest steering wheel looks like this. Lot many other functions are inbuilt here. So many switches for your mobile operation, radio operation, music system operation, lights operation, indications. So many things are provided here. So over and above this, one more important thing, the airbags also are installed inside the steering wheel. This is the safety element for the driver. When the vehicle is collided, airbags open automatically, protecting the driver from the accident. This is how airbag opens. Hope you got the clarity about the functioning of the rack and pinion steering system. Same way, the other steering systems also works mechanically, the worm and sector or worm and roller, whatever it may be. Next video, we'll discuss about the power assisted rack and pinion steering system or power steering system, that is hydraulic steering system. Kindly go through these 2 pages notes. In case you have any queries, you can always contact me through the email. Please share this video or this learning to your friends and subscribe to my channel.